If you're watching this video, chances are you either own one of these bikes or you've searched the entire of YouTube watching every single video about them. If you fit into either of these categories, then this video is for you. I've had this bike for 4 years and I've learned through my own mistakes the best way to wash them. You won't believe the amount of people who send me videos of themselves jet washing or snow foaming their bikes. I've done that in the past and it's caused issues, so this is definitely the best way forward.
Firstly, I'm going to introduce you to the product that we use to clean our Surron. Firstly, you're going to need a good all-purpose cleaner. This one's by a brand called Built Hamber, and it's great and cost-effective because you can dilute it as little as 1%. Next up, you're going to need a chain cleaner. This one's by a brand called Oxford, and it's great. You're also going to need a chain lube because once you clean that chain, you're going to need to lube it up again. And lastly, a good optional extra is a silicone spray. This is great for making your stanchions buttery smooth.
Another, but the most important optional extra is a blower. This is to dry the bike afterwards and make sure no water is left. It stops all the water seeping into your connections and bearings. The last optional extra is a seat. If you're fat and lazy like me, it's the best way to go.
Firstly, you want to leave the bike plugged in so that the connectors aren't open and cover it up with something waterproof so water can't get in. After you've done that, you want to rinse the bike off to eliminate any large chunks of mud.
The bike's been rinsed, it already looks so much better, but it's time to pre-soak the bike with our all-purpose cleaner. Areas like the wheels and the hubs, the shock and the swing arm get dirtier, so you want to make sure you pay extra attention there. It's great to have a wide variety of size brushes so you can fit into all the nooks and crannies on these bikes. The most important are the chain brush and the frame brush. The others are optional extras.
Now that you've soaked the bike in all-purpose cleaner and allowed it to dwell for a couple minutes, you want to grab a brush and start getting at that dirt. Having the bike on a stand like this is handy because it allows you to spin the wheel to get to all parts of it without having to move the bike.
Now that you've got into all the intricate areas of the bike with brushes, the wheels, the tyres, sprocket, everything, you're now ready to rinse the bike off. Again, avoid the battery lid compartment as that could lead to potential faults. Now that you've rinsed the bike off, you're ready to start on the chain. Apply your chain cleaner generously, as it's very important and will prevent your chain from stretching in future rides. A dedicated chain cleaning brush is the best way forward. Remember to work section by section, turning the wheel frequently so you don't miss any parts of the chain. The teeth on the sprocket often have grease and grime on them as well, so don't forget to check that area and if necessary use your brush to remove it. Once you're happy with your chain and convinced it's clean enough, you can rinse it off. Once you've finished rinsing the bike off, it's time to use the blower. Now this may look like a bit of overkill, but it's actually not. If you've got $4,000 to spend on a Surron, I'd highly recommend you spend $100 or £100 on one of these. It'll prevent you from having to replace bearings all the time. It'll prevent you from having electrical issues. It's very worth it.
If you don't have a blower, you can use a microfiber towel to dry the bike thoroughly before we apply any protectants and lubricants.
Now it's time to apply some silicone spray or silicone shine from Muck Off to your fork stanchions and your rear shock. But make sure to avoid your brake caliper because once you contaminate your discs or your pads, you have to replace them. This will prevent your fork seals drying out so quickly as well. The final step is to lubricate your chain. Again, make sure to avoid the brake discs and brake pads. If you have the bike on a stand, you can spin the wheel freely, ensuring that there is maximum coverage on the chain. You can always use an upside down bucket to rest your bike on if you do not have a bike stand handy. After letting it sit for a minute, wipe off any excess with a microfiber towel. Now your bike should be completely clean and looking much better than it did before. I'd advise leaving it half an hour for any water or dirt to evaporate before riding. This was before we cleaned the bike, and this is after. Big difference. Although using a jet wash and some snow foam may be quicker and easier, it's definitely not worth the risk. Some of the time you'll go to ride your bike after, the screen might have water underneath or the bike won't even turn on. This is definitely the best and safest way. If you liked today's video, please make sure you subscribe, like or comment.
Because we plan on making much more content in the future, so feel free to give us any video ideas in the comment section.
Join us for our next video where we discuss what we think about the new Armour EMX shock from EXT.